Hello, everyone, and welcome along to URS once again. We are here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It is round number 9 of the season, in season 3 of URS. I'm your host, Ryan Ocon31, and today I am joined by GSR Thrasher. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. So, um, last week in Hungary, had a first-time winner. Not only did we have a first-time winner, but we also had um, Joe return to the podium for a second week in a row and shot on the podium for the first time.
Yeah. Um, Very interesting race. Uh, we had it would have been Maddie on the podium, but obviously, if everyone watched last week, we kind of had stream issues towards the end. Um, but Maddie Mumu apparently had spun towards the end of the race and lost the podium because of it, which is what gave Joe the podium. So. Yeah,
Correct.
uh, I bet Joe was real happy to see him spin. But um, speaking of Manny Mumu, he made his return um, to league racing last week and would have been on the podium if it wasn't for the spin. So good to see that Matty still has the pace that we all knew. Um, but we'll see if he can continue that pace this week.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll have to try to assess the invites. However, take a look over our standings quickly as well while you have a chance. I'll get that
Yes.
sort of.
So Pluto currently has a nice, comfortable lead by 60 points over, um, hold on, let me make sure that's right. Sorry, 70 points, my bad. 70-point lead over Kostak. So that's a nice, comfortable gap for him. But then it starts, we have a battle for second. Kostak and Jab, 8 points separate the two. And then we have a 35 point, no, 25-point gap back to Joseph. TJR, Com, Will, Sam, Bryce, and Lando all running up the top 10. And then constructors, we have a Haas with a 35-point lead over AlphaTauri. And then Red Bull third with in a battle with Williams for fourth. Mercedes and McLaren are in a battle for fifth. Then we have a three-team battle: Aston, Ferrari, and Alfa Romeo for seventh. And then Alpine rounding out with only 27 points.
And we've never been to this track before as well. It's an interesting thing to look out for. First time here.
Yeah, very true. Obviously in the past games, this has been a real tough track for league racing. Um, and now with the new game, this game being much different than the past, we will most likely see a lot of entertainment, I should say.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm trying to see if JNT will be able to join. And who else do we need? JNT, Joe's coming in late. There's someone else too. Or is that not? Okay, hold on.
Someone to get the Alpine.
Okay, JNT is still on time trial. Yeah, I know. We'll have to figure that one out. That's really annoying. It's very annoying. You know, I don't understand that, but yeah, and we have a couple of penalties to be served. Com originally had a 3-second penalty to be served in this race. However, Com has declined last moment that he will not be racing. And then after that, Brew Gorgon is serving the second of his 3 race bans coming from this weekend. And TJR is not in the lobby either, so that makes sense. I don't understand why people could say they can race when they don't. That doesn't make sense to me. That is really annoying.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. No reason for it at all, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, TJR, not really an excuse, but he did.
Correct, with the Florida
He did,
stuff.
yeah, he did just go through Hurricane Ian, which, first of all, prayers
Correct.
out to everyone affected
Correct.
um,
Correct.
by the path of Hurricane Ian. But, um,
Did have power yesterday, so that's what confuses me about it, you know what I mean?
yeah, he did. But from what I've heard, that his power flicked on and off last night. There may be another issue.
Maybe. Could possibly be that. And he has an, yeah, like I said, you said it too. He has an excuse. He has an excuse for that. You know.
Yeah, I don't even think TJR is online. Yeah, he is not. So,
That might make sense then. I think we'll be able to get going. Joe should be able to join in during qualifying like he mentioned. And we'll make sure the drivers get going. Mac and Toneless, the reserves. Rowdy also will mention a couple things about full-time seat changes in just a moment. Yeah, let's get going. I don't really understand with that. Well, drivers should be getting ready in just a moment. We should have everyone readied up in just a moment. However, I will tell you right now, we do have a couple first starts or reserve appearances or return to the league. We have Rowdy TJ Boy joining us full time and the McLaren. He is returning to full time action after his race in Hungary, where he raced in the Williams. This time he's racing in the McLaren full time. He's replacing Lando Norris, who in fact decided to step down from full time racing until the end of the season. A little bit of frustration for him. He needed a break, understandably so. I kind of feel bad for a lot of the incidents he's gotten involved in. It's demotivated a lot of the drivers, not just him. And now you see Rowdy TJ Boy takes over that spot. It's the third season in a row Rowdy has had a full-time seat. Now it comes in the second half of the season. Not only that, but Mac Bikeman returning to the Mercedes, let alone returning to the league. He's a reserve this week. He has not made a start since the finale, or I think the second to last round at Saudi Arabia last season, where he has yet to score points in this league. So we'll have to see if he can do that. We have rain at some point. The drivers look like they are pretty angry about that. Wow. And not only that, but yep, drivers are saying there is rain. Not only that, but Toneless Death is also reserving in the McLaren, replacing a shot for today as well. Wow.
yeah, it looks like we are having the people on PlayStation or PC not able to
No,
load
I think
in.
they're good now. Pluto said. He said never mind with that. It just loaded slower for them, I think. I don't know. However, we should be having drivers go out in just a moment to start laps, or if they don't go out yet, what they will do is think about the weather, then make a decision on what tire they want to go for, or sorry, no, what tire they want to go for, what kind of setup they want to go for. Do they make adjustments with what kind of rain it is? What kind of rain do the drivers see? That's something we'll have to watch out for. Will it be a similar race to Britain as well? And in that
There
Britain
is
race, we
no
saw
rain.
Sam Steed. There's no rain, really?
They were trolling me.
Oh. Wow. Ah, I see. That's not fun.
But yeah.
Very easy. It's very easy to have that happen though with what do you call it? When almost every driver was saying that. But yeah. We do have the drivers going out, so that's a good thing though.
Yep. Aaron, I think, will be the first one.
Good.
Yeah, it is Aaron. Okay. Just making sure.
And make sure throughout the session, Joe gets an invite because he will be coming on in a little while. So we'll have to pay attention to that. We got yellow flags already, by the way. I believe that is an Alfa Romeo. That is Sam Steed. But something I noticed before we go on board to watch Aaron Ocon start a lap is the fact that Aaron Ocon this weekend, passing time trial. Pluto up there with him. He was Aaron. I know he's a time trial merchant quite a bit, but he was out of Pluto. I know his inconsistency to this season has not been great. However, he got his best finish of the season last week at Hungary. Some more points to the tally. Some more points to the tally at Ferrari, scoring the second most points in a single race weekend. Bryce Cracker scored the most single points in a race weekend for a driver. So that's something we'll have to watch out for. Something also achieved in Hungary was Pluto, scoring over 400 points for the first time in the league's first driver to do that. Now we have also got over 10 drivers who've scored over 100 points. Aaron Ocon starts the first lap that we see in the session at turn 1. You want to keep it off that outside curb a little bit, but touch it. Now keep it off the outside barrier there too. Same with turn 2. Very careful on the traction out of the corner. DRS applied. Up the gears he goes. And I must say, it is a good thing we do not have actual rain in this race. That is a very good thing because I wanted to see a dry race throughout. If we had rain, we'd probably have more chaos than we're already about to have. Baku, you always have some sort of chaos. And speaking of chaos, we're waiting for the chaos to happen on these qualifying laps as Aaron Ocon enters turn 4. There's the wall. And there's where it starts. I don't know if that's damage. However, he has continued going. He's got a 36-0 in the first sector.
Don't see any damage that I can see. So it looks like he will be able to keep it going. Castle section, one of the hardest places one of the hardest parts of the track, but also one of the worst parts through all the tracks in this game. So now through the high speed, couple left hands, very nice. Be careful not to get into the wall. Nicely done. End of sector 2. I can't remember what it was. At a 117.2.
17.2. Yeah.
So can Aaron get a nice banker lap?
It'll be the time to beat for drivers. Here he goes. 8th gear. URS going to be completely gone once he reaches the start-finish line. Almost below 10%. That's how much ERS they're wasting here. However, Aaron sets the first time. It'll be a 41.8 they'll have to beat. Next across the line will be a Mercedes. That'll be Mac Bikeman. Mac Bikeman returning to the grid. Good to see him. However, what's he going to do in the first lap of the season for him? Florian Foley's now crashed out, but Mac Bikeman sets a 43.4, 1.6 up the pace. Having to use the Mercedes first before he comes back in and makes a decent start. Fastest sector 3 though, so that Mercedes does have a little bit of straight line speed, or simply he was able to nail the S section coming to the line.
And you did mention Foley. Looked like it was to the high, towards the end, right before the final straight.
Yeah, so speaking of the final straight, here's Chungus on the final straight, starting his lap now. He'll be the next driver to start a lap. Next across the line is a Haas driver. That is either Matty Mumu or Pluto. I believe that's Pluto starting lap. Next up's a McLaren, and he's going to abort that lap and come to the pits. Here's Chungus out of turn 2 now, applying the DRS, losing a bit of traction. Chungus has said throughout the Discord chat this weekend that he has struggled in the Williams to find a good setup, to find pace, to really find some sort of consistency. And we have an Alfa Romeo off the road. That is Sam Steed backing off as he invalidated the lap he was on. Sam Steed mentioned that, he's not... Oh, Chungus slides. Sam Steed has mentioned that he's not made Q3 since Saudi Arabia. He has mentioned that he's made himself aware of that. However, what he has made himself aware of is that he needs to start pushing and finding that one-lap pace in order to qualify well and then to race well. He feels like The driving standards are about the same that he's felt throughout the whole season. However, in order to avoid them, Sam has probably realized being at the front will be the best way. Now, Chungus, castle section, inside curb. That's a curb you do not want to touch a whole lot, because I have touched it myself in the last couple of races I've done on this track, and I spin on the inside curb. Does not help you whatsoever. Luckily, Chungus did not spin that time. Another inside curb Chungus touches. He's got 2 cars in front of him about to start a lap. Oh, he has an Alfa Romeo getting in his way. I believe that was Goggy. And luckily, it did not impede Chungus too badly. However, up to the run to the line, we have Chungus getting slipstream from a Ferrari. As of right now, I believe this is Rice Cracker. It's not much, but it is something. As Racecracker starts a lap, Chungus applies DRS on the run to the start-finish line. Will we see someone go in the 40s? We will see it closely. It is a 41-2, not just yet with 11 minutes remaining. Pluto goes second fastest. Pluto completes a lap that's 2/10 slower. Next up's an Alfa Romeo about to start a lap. That is Blue Goggy. Watch him. TJR is also gone online. He'll need an invite. You know, I don't ever know why people actually invite me to parties while I'm commentating, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I really don't, but I always confuse myself with it, because it's like, and it doesn't matter if it's this league or any other league, but I'm never gonna join unless it's me lagging out of the party. That's really about it. But nothing too harsh or nothing bad on people. Understand it, because people need invites. It's a way they contact.
Jab to the top.
However, Jab is to the top. He beats his teammate, and Jab's quest to go for a race win is still underway. Matty Mimu next to the top. Goes out of Jab. Now here's Goggy. Coming through turn 7, now turn 8. The castle section he comes. He's got to keep it out of the wall. It'll be one of the biggest challenges for these drivers this weekend. Now, on the run here, all the way down to sector 3. Goggy, what can he make of it? So yeah, you'll have to get TJR in right to the game.
He's already in.
Goggy, 16-9. There we go. Yep. Awesome. So TJR will get to race. Oh, Goggy loses the rear there. In the last braking zone, he's got a car in front of him trying to get out of the way. That's the Williams. There's a yellow flag in the first sector. Yellow flag in the final sector. Another lap complete. That's Racecracker, last week's winner, going to go up to 4th. Kostag's complete a lap. So is J&T. Now Will has 2. The Mercedes are looking not so great this weekend. However, Goggy, is he going to look great coming to the line? Yes, he is. He's going to be 6th fastest ahead of Aaron Ocon.
And he definitely lost some time there. Lost the rear, like you had pointed out, the beginning of Sector 3. Luckily, he was able to only lose some time and not lose his qualifying and DNF. So
off at turn 2 is TJR, getting used to getting back on the track and trying to not get disqualified here and trying to get out of the way of any other drivers around him. He's done a good job of that. Next to cross the line is an AlphaTauri. That is Kostag. Kostag, sorry, he's going to pit this time. And so does one of the blue cars around him. I do not know who that was. I think that was Chungus or Jab. What do we have on a lap? We're about to start a lap. We have Will Chromac improving, but he is coming to the pit lane, I believe. Nope. Actually, yes, he is. Never mind. That confused me a little bit. Next up is an Aston Martin. Polo God. Polo God goes 3rd. He's right now 68,000. Or sorry, close to Jab, who's 68 thousandths off the top. Apologies there. Chungus thinks he's safe. He's going to retire early. Next to start a lap is Mac Bikeman. Sam Steed also went 10th fastest there. Here's Mac Bikeman in his return. Oh, he gets close to the wall at turn 1. However, now on the run to turn 2, he's going to clip the inside curb, head toward the outside wall. We got a yellow flag in the final sector. 13 drivers have set laps now in this session. Chungus thinking he's safe already. With 17 drivers left in this session to try to make their way into Q2, I believe it's fair for both Williams now to retire and think, hey, we're good for Q2. That is a fair assessment considering what the top of the leaderboard says. The McLaren has gone off at turn 2. Now Mac Bikeman, a 10th up on his time. Next to cross the line was an AlphaTauri. Or sorry, that was an Alfa Romeo or Ferrari. I couldn't tell who that was. Joseph, but I don't think he completed a lap. Now he's starting a lap. Apologies. Mac, though, oh, smacks the wall at the rear of the car. Could that potentially be rear wing damage, and could that potentially be a lap aborted for Mac as well? Well, let's see. So far, it looks like he's continuing it. Next up is an Alfa Romeo spinning around in the background. That was Sam Steed. Around at the exit of the castle section. Next is Mac, trying to improve on Sector 2. Can Mac do so? Next up is a yellow flag. Mac is improving by a second. Right now, this would put him ahead of the next two cars, making sure he'd be in Q2 if everybody has set laps. Oh, little time lost there out of the final S. Then turn 20. And then the run to the start-finish line with DRS enabled. Battery very low. Mac crossing the line. Mac will go 11th ahead of JNT and Will.
Yep, so nicely done there. Polo now retires, who splits both Williams. All those three, I don't think they are safe, and I think they are too. You have Joseph. Joseph's coming to finish a lap. DRS activated. Overtaken at 8%, 7, 6 to the line. Joseph goes P7 for Joseph.
We're also going to watch Rowdy here. First full-time start in the McLaren. He had full-time starts before in the AlphaTauri and the Alpine. Now it is McLaren for Rowdy. We have yellow flags in the first sector. That is Joseph backing off right there to avoid the car in front of him. We also had a car across the line at TJR. TJR, 7th place. Not much practice today heading into the race. However, he did put some practice in last night on time trial. Rowdy TJ Boy now coming to the Sector 1 split. 35-9 for Rowdy. Rowdy set an impressive race in Hungary and got some decent points for Williams, while Jeb retired from the race after contact with Polo God. Ooh, Rowdy is continuing to slide through the corners. Toneless completed a lap. That's 16th fastest. However, what can his teammate Rowdy do as he comes through the castle section now? Rowdy clipping the inside curb, losing the rear just a little bit. Might have scrubbed some speed off of that. However, fast left-hander flat out. Now, as Aaron Ocon has crashed out. Aaron Ocon is out, and he will not make a run in Q2. He may be in it by pace, however, let's see what other drivers can set if they can knock him out off pace. Rowdy TJ Boy, purple through Sector 2. Now coming through the S section now. Turn 19, losing the rear, and somehow good wheel traction to keep him straight. Good car control from Rowdy, applying DRS now on the run to the start-finish straight. That was amazing. However, Rowdy comes to the line. First full-time start. Looks like he'll be safe for now. Wow, good car control.
So, such a good control that he was able to keep it out of the barrier. That was amazingly. It was just so great to watch.
Most definitely. And the other thing, too, is although Aaron Ocon's now out of the session, Gagi, who's ahead of him, is thinking he's safe. Race Cracker did the same. Also, more yellow flags in the racetrack. TJR is also coming to the pit lane this time. Next up is a McLaren. That is Toneless coming to the pit lane, I believe, or completing a lap. I believe it's coming to the pit lane, considering he's down currently. J&T trying to start a lap or complete a lap, looking for a slipstream maybe. Yeah, looking for a slipstream. Matty Moo thinks he's safe. Now, he led Q1 last week, led Q2, but was denied pole in the Haas. Here's J&T, currently on the elimination zone and trying to make it into Q2. J&T, last couple of weeks, it has not been the kind of races he's wanted. He has only made 50% of the races this season, and he's been full-time in. It's not been a good start to him. It's hard to tell where he's been at toward pace. However, it will be a matter of telling and time of if he'll get to Q2. 35.6 in the first sector. That's an improvement by 3/10. So that is some hope for J&T. Currently would be 13th. However, the time is still there to improve. 2.5 minutes remaining. Now, turn 7. Now to the castle section. Turn 8 and onwards. J&T's got to keep this out of the walls. You know, in a race in GSR recently here, he finished just shy of the win. Was smart with his moves. Rather decided, I'm going to finish on the podium instead of crash my car going for the win. However, we have not seen J&T on the podium this season. So maybe he might be a bit more aggressive, or trying to play it safe at a race like Baku. Now, final corner of Sector 2, up to the sector split, 9/10 up, so he's looking currently at a top 7 spot in the session with purple. Joseph thinks he's safe. Pluto thinks he's safe. The only one in the top 9 yet to retire thinking they're safe and done for the session is TJR. Now he does call it quits for Q1. All the top 9 do look safe. However, can J&T sneak his way into the top 9? He's looking to do so with a good lap so far. Crosses the line now. J&T will go 6th and looks like he will be into Q2 as of right now.
Yeah, well, nice stop there from the Aston Martin. Looked beautifully through Sector 2. We have... I figure out who else Coast Dags would come to the pits. Or is he going to start a lap? He's going to start a lap. Sam's going to start a lap.
Here we go. How about you go on board with Kostag through this last lap here, Thrasher, and make sure to watch out for an invite message from Joe as he now applies to URS. Kostag does.
Yeah, so Kostag applies to the URS now into turn 3, down to second gear, gets close to the wall, barely skims by it. Turn 4. Looks like a little understeering, but is able to keep it through. He's got a 35.7 Sector 1, that's 2/10 up. That would currently put him right around the Pluto TJ area. Now beautifully through. Now into the castle section. Which is, like I said earlier, the trickiest part. But Kostag is able to get through there. Oh! Sticks it through third gear. Now into the fast-paced left-handers. Down to second. They're enough to hit the wall. As we've done there. And the Sector 2.
Yellow flags. That's JNT, sorry.
He's 8/10 up on his time. This would put him right around...
Top right now.
Yeah, actually this might put him on the top. If he can
last
keep
time
it through.
an AlphaTauri led a session was Davis's pole in Bahrain. Can Kostag come to the line and take another session left for AlphaTauri? Yes, he can, you bet. It's another step closer to the 40s. Checkered flag for Toneless. Toneless cannot improve. He cannot get himself into Q2. That is another one for Toneless. Sam, by the way, will not make Q2 as he's crashed out of the session. Now, Will Cromack gets himself in as well, knocking the teammate of Mac Bikeman, I believe, out. Will Cromack saves himself at the last moment. And this means that you will have 13 drivers competing in Q2. Aaron Ocon crashed out. He's out. Good pace this weekend, however, could not convert it into another session because he crashed out. Sam Steeden in the Alfa Romeo, out. He cannot make Q3 for the 10th consecutive time. Mac Bikeman, out again. We've seen a couple Q3 appearances from him. However, on the one start he's made this season thus far, nothing of it. Toneless, the second start in a row, I believe I want to say that he's out. Did not make it in the McLaren once again, and fully crashed out at the start of the session. Could not make it through whatsoever. And a factor for him is that he will not have a teammate today. Looking as there's no Alpine to join the session. So, with Riles missing last minute, that now means Foley does not have Alpine make the next session. Meaning Alpine are out.
You have a little bit of an issue with your mic. It's kind of weird.
I do?
Yeah, like every time you talk, there's like you can kind of hear like a Martian like thing in the background.
Let me reset it. Go through the people who are in Q2.
As Ryan mentioned, drivers out: Sam Steed, Aaron, Mac Bikeman, Florian Foley, and which one else am I missing? I can't remember who else. Anyway, so Gagi's up session. I'll invite him back. we have Joseph, TJR, Kostek, Jab, Polo, Maddie, Rice, Goggy, Rowdy, Chungus, Will, Pluto, and JNT. All in Q2. Let me Goggy back.
Is that what you're hearing? Thrasher, hello?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not hearing the lawn bean mode? Is that what you were talking about?
What?
The lawn bean mode. You said the thing on my mic. I said, are you sure you're not hearing the mode?
No,
That might
it's
be the
no,
mic
it's
noise. No? Is it
it's
still
not.
there?
It's still there. It's not as
How?
bad, but
I'm
it's
so
still
confused.
there.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me go into the stream and let me see myself.
It kind of sounds like an alien. Like if you listen real closely, you can kind of hear like an alien thing in the background of your mic.
Sounds like an alien. Let me hear the stream. Hold on. I don't hear anything with it, so I don't know. I don't understand.
It's every now and again. Like I can
Every
hear
now
it
and again.
real slightly.
Well, if it's every now and again, I'm not gonna worry about it this moment. If it continues to happen, though, I'll make note of it. But yeah, chat. We have 14 people watching. However, give us your predictions for the 3 drivers you think will make it out in be eliminated in Q2. The first driver will watch to see if he'll be eliminated or he'll make Q3. Whatever happens to him will be Chungus GOAT. Chungus did not race last week. He had Rowdy in his place. However, Williams did score some 4 points. Wasn't much, but considering you had Jab retire from the race, it was something for them. And he spinned! Oh, no, he saved it! Is he going to continue, though, or is he going to abort? I think he aborts the lap. Smart decision from him because you don't want to go for it and try to wreck the car again. Next up is Polo God. Watch Polo God come through turn 1 now. He's got his teammate right behind, following him. Polo God also comes close to the wall. JNT does too. Now, Polo God is going to come through turn 2. Polo God, quite a bit of Q3 appearances this season in that Aston Martin. He has said the car feels quite comfortable. I love this car. And when people mentioned that Pluto should be switched to the Aston Martin, Polo God said, whatever you do, do not switch me out of this Aston Martin. I love this car. I feel comfortable. And he has shown that so far, being up there in Q1 at the start of this session. He could have something for them today if he continues to improve. And recently, Polo God stepped down as co-owner, possibly putting a little bit less pressure on him as well in these races. Now, 36-1 through the first sector. JNT, his teammate, running close behind. JNT also watching if his teammate runs into trouble. Polo God slightly cuts the corner, but I think gets away with it. And in front of that, there's a yellow flag for Chungus and Williams, and that's a contact with the wall for Polo God, and he loses the rear and might have to get out of the way of JNT if he does not continue going, and I think Polo God will not abort the lap, funny enough. I'm surprised about that. I would have thought he would have aborted the lap by now after hitting the wall slightly. However, he is continuing to go to at least get a lap in for Q2, whether it's worthy of him making it or not. It is an 18.6 for Polo. For JNT, it's an 18.2. So you can see how much time Polo lost in that middle sector by hitting the wall and also losing the rear. Now Polo God comes to the final corners of the S's. He will be the benchmark time to set, and he will also give a slipstream to his teammate at JNT. However, will Polo God be pitting or darting down this low to complete the lap? Polo God pits. Now JNT comes to cross the line. JNT 42.5. He'll be the first one to set a lap. Behind that, Chungus pits. Polo pits. They abort their laps. Behind that is an AlphaTauri of Kostek. He'll be the next one across the line. What can Kostek set? Will be the benchmark time, 41.7. He led Q2. He led Q1. Now he's leading Q2. TJR next to start a lap in the Red Bull. 8/10 separates the difference at the front of the field. However, TJR was trying to win 3 in a row last week. Was trying to do something that's never been done at URS and win 3 in a row. 3 drivers have won 2 in a row, and Jab now to the top of the board. But 3 drivers won 2 in a row, however, none of them saw 3 in a row.
Yeah, DJ was on a nice little streak, kind of sadly ended last week, but he's wanting to make a new streak and get back up onto the top step of the podium. So
There you go.
yeah, we'll see him looking at his lap, and it's not a bad lap as he gets ready to enter the tricky part. Now he's gonna go into the castle section. Down the second gear he goes. Nicely done there. No contact with the wall. Now into the fast-paced left-handers. He goes.
Ooh. All out.
It's a little bit squirrely there. Now and down to second. To the sector 2, he goes a 117.3.
It's an improvement.
Now into the S's, he goes all out, no contact with the wall. TGR will now activate DRS battery at the 23%, 22, 21. TGR goes second.
You also mentioned as well, TJR had recently. Gagi goes fastest now. 6,000 separate the top of the board. 41.2. But no, I was gonna say you mentioned recently the stuff in Florida. I also wanted to mention TJR is not the only member of our league or member who has participated in our league from Florida who has had the hurricane come by. Our thoughts are with them, of course. Wow, this Archie's another one. As Racecracker goes to the top. Well, this Archie's another one. Archie used to race in the league back in Season 1. However, doesn't race it much anymore. Still in the league, though. Now, Rowdy goes fourth fastest. Promising pace in the McLaren. They could have a car in Q3 today. That'd be lovely to see.
Yeah, definitely. Especially Rowdy, you know, obviously him just making his return last week. Was able to score 4 points, finished P8 last week. Looking to get some more points this week. And so far, it's looking like to be a promising qualifying for Rowdy so far. Could help him get.
Good. Sorry.
No, you go. It's just like you could help him get more points, or at least battle for more points.
I was gonna say, now that we're midway through the session, do we want to get an interview in with someone who missed out on Q2?
I'd say we get one with Sam Steed.
I was thinking maybe Mac. What do you think? Mac
Yeah,
or Sam?
Mac works too.
Alright, let's get Mac in. We'll go on board with the driver who's on a lap, though, to make sure the session has still got something going on. Polo God, we'll go on board with him in the Aston Martin. But I'm going to ask Mac for one. I want to see if he wants to have one. If he doesn't, he doesn't. If he does, then we'll find out.
Polo actually real quick just ran past. It's like, well, I don't know what it said, but
if it's accurate, right? Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, and he hits the wall again.
That's the second time for Polo. He's got to try something to make it get into Q3. He hits the wall again. Wow. Oh my God. It's just a struggle for Polo. You know, and I must say, I predicted in the podcast, or not for the podcast, the journalist notes this week that Polo God would struggle. Or I think it was Polo. I don't remember if it was him or not. It was someone. I think it might have been Polo. But if it was, I would like to mention his street circuits have not been well, except for the times he's finished on the podium. Saudi Arabia last season, taken out with his cousin Aaron. Canada, taken out of the race. Russia, DNF'd. Besides the 2 street circuit races this season, or two of the 3 street circuit races this season, it's not been well for Polo God, but yeah, he's heading this time. He's gonna have to at least try something to get in a decent lap. 8 drivers have sucked laps, though. We'll go on board with Chungus. We'll see. Did Max say he want an interview? What about Aaron? I know you said Sam because we got Sam last week. We got Salmon last week, so I want to try to get someone different. How about Aaron? As Chungus goes fourth, by the way. Just splitting Jeb and Rowdy.
Yeah,
What do we think about
Aaron?
Okay, awesome.
And that little noise is back, by the way.
I hear it a little bit through your mic. I'm not going to worry about it too much. But I also will say there's a lawnmower kind of close to my window, so you might also hear that too, to be fair. Mic does pick up a little bit, so I don't know if it's that as well. However, we'll get in Aaron Ocon. We'll talk to him. We'll get in him. Yeah, can you hear it, the lawnmower?
I don't know if the lawnmower or what, I can just hear something.
Yeah, I would assume you could hear it. My mic's quite sensitive, so I would assume so. I invited Aaron Ocon. Yeah, let me see from the stream. I don't hear it on the stream, so I think that's a good part of it, you know what I mean? As long as we don't hear it on the stream, it's fine. I heard it like once or twice with your mic. I know what you're talking about, but it wasn't for too long a time, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
I hope whatever it is. It's not too bad. As long as it's not like Belgium with what happened with my mic then, where it was just like staticky the whole time, then that's what I'm fine with. Goggy thinks he's safe. He's retired from the session, but someone who also retired from the session, well, still running, was Aaron. Aaron, what happened there? As Maddie goes fastest in sector 1. What happened, Aaron, to make you go out in Q1? I know you made Q2 off pace, but what happened for you not to compete in Q2 now that you were out in Q1?
So basically, I didn't think I was safe. I went on another lap. I was up by the 8 tenths of a second, and I just went too quick into the caster section and lost it when it hit the wall.
Yeah, so
Pluto goes top of the board into the 40s, but carry on.
First driver to go in the 40s next to his teammate, but yeah, just a quick question. You know, I know you didn't expect you were safe. However, what I have to ask you, you showed a lot of pace in your time. You showed a lot of pace in some of these practice lobby sessions, I think, that I've seen you in. I have to ask, although you've shown some pace, Aaron, in those sessions, do you think it will carry over, even starting from the back of the grid today?
I mean, I had good pace. I know that because I did a 41.8 in Q1, but I got wing damage in the first sector, so I knew there was definitely a lot of time. So I think I could have probably got maybe mid 40s or maybe 40.6 if I completed the lap. So yeah, I think I've got decent pace, but it's then again like you can make mistakes very easily around this track.
Speaking of JNT, he goes third fastest. Thrasher, any questions for Aaron before we let him go?
No, but just good luck and hope to see you in the points. Yeah,
most definitely, I agree. Good luck, enjoy the race, and same as what he said, have fun.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Aaron Ocon's cousin, Polo God, now is on a lap, and he's the only one, well, actually not the only one, he's the only one who's tried setting laps many times and has not done so yet in the session. Pluto is going to make Q3 for the 9th consecutive time. However, Joseph, who's also made it from the 9th consecutive time, this one coming from his first start, is currently in the elimination zone. So is Polo God, coming through the ends of Sector 2, and he's kept his lap clean so far. However, he's got to finish it clean. Can he do so? He's got a Mercedes in front of him who's starting a lap. That will also be a critical point. 16.9, that's purple for Polo God. Polo God has got to keep this S section clean in order to make it into Q3. However, this whole session for Polo God has not been clean. Final parts of this track as he enters 19, 20. Pluto, Rice, Goggy, all are safe and retiring. And in the pit lane, Polo God applies DRS, comes to the finish line now. What can Polo God do? 2 bad laps results in a lap that will get him into Q3 for now. Next up, to cross the line, I believe that is TJR. TJR, sorry, he's starting a final lap, never mind. Kostag, coming to the line. Kostag, sorry, starting a lap. It's a little bit of a delay from him with that. JNT comes into the pits. We've also got Joseph starting a lap. We'll focus on Will, though, is Will coming through the first sector. He was in the elimination zone last time in Q1, still in Q2. However, it's a 3/10 improvement for Will. 2 seconds off of the front of the field in regards to Pluto. Yellow flags, that is JNT thinking he's safe. Matty Mumu is probably going to think he's safe in the next 20 seconds because he's right in between all them. So Matty Mumu will be through to Q3 for the 2nd time in a row. That is a double Haas Q3. We've not seen many of those this season. Now we've seen another one. Will Cromack will be the first one to cross the line and complete a lap. Checkered flag for Chungus. Chungus, that's it. He will not have to get in another lap since he's completed the checkered flag. However, he will have to have the other drivers not set better lap times in order for him to get through. Will, only up 4/10, comes through the S's now on the run to the start-finish line. What is Will's lap gonna be? Can he get himself into Q3? He's gonna have to improve by 1.3. DRS applied up to the line now. And he's out. 1.4 out. Next up to cross the line. That's Jab. Can Jab improve? Can Jab go to the top? Jab up to third. Next up is TJR. TJR cannot improve. Can Joseph get himself into Q3? Sorry, Kostag's next. Kostag, I believe that is not much of an improvement. Kostag is out. AlphaTauri are trying to continue an equal record of 19 consecutive Q3 appearances. They would tie Ferrari's record today if Joseph can get through. But Joseph is losing it. Joseph's in the wall. Next up is Rowdy. Rowdy will be safe though. It'll be a matter of him and TJR. Joseph will not make it. 9 consecutive Q3 appearances as he's out. AlphaTauri were looking for an equaling record of 19 consecutive Q3 appearances from the end of season 1 all the way to now and currently, and will not make Q3. They have stuck at 18. They are stuck at 18 consecutive Q3 appearances and will not make it. They will not make it for a 19th time. And Joseph, his record from first start to now with consecutive Q3 appearances is also over. He's out. Out
Sorry,
of this.
I.
Go ahead.
No, so I was just saying. Sorry, I was just getting an invite to Joe. But
Nice.
very interesting. Q2 there. Both AlphaTauri's out.
Joseph.
as you mentioned.
Out for the first time. Cannot make Q3. Neither could Kostag. Both AlphaTauri's out. That is a shocker. Will Kromack, about where he's qualified on average per the last couple of weeks. TJR, through. Rowdy, through. Chungus is through. So is both Aston Martins of Polo and J&T. Rice for another quest for pole is through. Blue Goggy, another one for him too. He's through. Jab is through. And both Haas's lead the way.
Yeah. Beautifully done so far from Rowdy. Last week he was in the Williams. This week in a McLaren, and in a Q3 he goes.
Joe will need an invite to this session. Looks like we got Q3 underway now. Let's go over a couple of things with Q3 now. Rowdy TJ Boy, first Q3 appearance since Bahrain of season 2, round 7, the finale. Also not the first time he's been in a Q3 in a street circuit. However, it's been quite a damn while, I'll tell you that. I actually want to look at the last time that he did make Q3 on a street circuit, because I don't know if it was Saudi Arabia or not. Let me just check just to be 100% sure. Rowdy TJ Boy, last time he qualified in a Q3 on a street circuit was Canada. And that race he did crash out, unluckily. 2 drivers going out now, but Rowdy making another Q3 appearance for McLaren. They don't have a whole lot this season. They're quite low compared to every other team. Chungus gets both Williams in. They continue a record of getting into Q3, I believe, on every start of the season for Williams. Williams have done a fine job getting both cars in on most to every occasion. Haas got both cars in. They now have 9 consecutive Q3 appearances to start the season. The only 2 teams to do so. Jab has only missed Q3 once. He's continued that record. Quite nice from him. Also, J&T, in his 4 starts, he has made it to Q3. Or sorry, in his previous 4 starts, he made it to Q3 once. Now it's his second time making it to Q3. Last time was Britain. Both Aston Martins through, luckily enough. Polo God gets through once again. 6th Q3 appearance of the season. Yet to take a pole since the first ever race, by the way. Pluto, 9 consecutive now. Yet to take a pole this season, though. Hasn't qualified worse than 5th. Blue Goggy took the pole in Singapore, however. He's now got 10 plus Q3 appearances. Rice Cracker, through as well. He took pole last week. Matty Momo, 2nd appearance for him. 2nd start for him. He's through. TJR, he's also through. 4th time for TJR. And the last time he made it to Q3, he won the race. Next up, starting a lap, it is Polo God. Polo God will be the first driver, actually I think the second driver now, to start a lap. Let's watch Polo God on his quest for pole position in this league, let alone Aston Martin's. Aston Martin still are the only team in this league yet to take a pole, if my calculations are correct. Yes. They're the only team yet to take a pole. However, this driver has taken a pole before. And he's been fast so far this weekend, along with JNT. Polo God comes through turn 4. Now, oh, smacks the wall. Although it was purple, the big question will be, is that front wing damage? Polo God, now, coming to turn 7's got a car in his way. The car in front goes off. That's Rice Cracker. Luckily, did not hit the barrier. Polo God, castle section now. We've seen him hit the wall a couple times here. He's got to keep it off the wall this time, as he hit it once more earlier. However, Polo God, clean through there. Will it be clean through here? The fast, open, left-hander, the full throttle one. Now, another left-hander for Polo God. Then another one, but he hits the wall. Chungus up in front of him also completes the end of Sector 2. However, even though Polo God hit the wall, he's still going quite fast. 16-7. He does have maybe a bit of front wing damage. I think it's indented just a little. However, comes through here. Looks clean. Comes to the start-finish line now. Chungus will be the first one to set a time. Polo God enables DRS. Chungus will be the one to beat. It will be a 41.5. Polo God hits the wall a couple of times, but he'll be the one to beat at a 40.9. He's the second driver, I believe, into the 40s. Next up is Rice Cracker. He's starting a lap. Behind that, it's Jab completing a lap. The other Williams driver trying to beat his teammate once again in qualifying. Rice Cracker struggles through turn 1. However, Jab crosses the line. Jab will be behind Chungus. Next is TJR. TJR splits the Williams boys. Rice Cracker now coming through the end of turn 2 on the run down to turn 3. Cannot clip that outside curb. That outside curb will send you flying into turn 3 and in the runoff. We've got a car in the runoff. That's JNT or either Polo. Next across the lines, Manny Mumu, who takes pole. 40.5 right now. His brother starts a lap now. He was gonna set in a time, but he may have invalidated it.
Yeah.
Pluto, front row.
Yeah, Pluto Forest, so we now 3 drivers into the 40s.
Oh!
And Chungus is out.
He will not take a pole today. His quest for a first pole is done. So now it's up to his teammate to challenge him and beat him in the teammate race there as well. Joe joins the session. He'll be in for the race. However, Rice Cracker coming through the ending parts of Sector 2. Rowdy TJ Boy crosses the line. He'll go ahead of Chungus. He's 4th. Best qualifying in a while. Best qualifying ever is 2nd. He was right behind Polo God, and he's right behind Polo God again in that qualifying. This qualifying right behind him. That qualifying where he qualified 2nd, he was right behind him. Now Rice Cracker up to the start-finish line. Applies DRS. Can he take a 2nd consecutive pole? Rice Cracker is just off. He splits both Haas drivers. So it's a Ferrari 1, 2, 3 got the engines. Next up's JNT. How about you go on board with this, Thrasher? Talk us through JNT's lap.
Yeah, so JNT turn 1, beautifully done. Gets close to the wall, not exactly at the wall. Get on a nice little curving there to turn 2, now down the first DRS straight. Down into turn 3 he goes. Beautifully done there, as we just had Goggy go 5th, I believe. Yeah, so turn 4, beautifully done there. Turn 5, purple sector 1. So, if that is realistic, then that's a great start to the lap for JNT. Now, JNT gets in the exact same place where his teammate hit the wall in Q2. He hits the wall. Doesn't look like he's backing down from his lap yet. Gets
Committed.
through the rest of that castle section just fine. Now all out into the left-handers. Breaks down to 4th.
Wow.
Up Sector 2 is a 117.0, so not a bad Sector 2 from JNT when he hit the wall. So now JNT through the S's all out. JNT, the last driver, to not set a lap. Where can JNT put his Aston Martin? Could he go to the top? Could he be in front of his teammate? Where does the Aston Martin go? P6.
Also, I just wanted to note as well, I watched Joseph's incident that let him not go through to Q3. Lost the rear when he was braking at turn 1, just lost it. The car snapped, hit the barrier at turn 1 on the outside, still tried to keep going. However, that was it for him. He knew that he would not make Q3. He would need to improve a ton, or at least try to get a lap in. He couldn't get one good one in, and it was not enough at all. JNT, since he's done, we've also got Jab on an outlap, TJR on an outlap. They're all coming out for their final runs into Q3. Matty Mamu has never set himself on pole position in this league in the 2 starts. He was close last week. His teammate beat him in qualifying last week. However, right now, he is ahead of his teammate. This is the fastest we've seen these drivers this weekend, 40.5s right now, and the whole field behind that is still very close. Rowdy, he ain't far off either. He's still probably got time to improve. Same what I know Chungus does, even though he's out of the session, he's not going to improve any. However, he's still surely got more pace than that Williams. His teammate Jab, TJR, they'll be the first ones to improve. While I go to the bathroom quickly, watch Jab starting a lap and go on board with him throughout the lap. Let's see how committed Jab is. Let's see if Jab can maximize everything he can in that Williams. Right now in 10th.
Yeah, so Jab now will go through the S's to start. Oh wait, no, never mind, not to start. Yeah, to start his final lap, even though it says he's final. That's weird. Maybe a glitch there. But, anyways, Jab to now start a lap. The line he goes now into turn 1. Down to 3rd, quickly up to 4th. Beautifully done there. Now we'll go into turn 2. Stays in 6th, down to 3rd. Quickly back up to 4th. DRS activated. First of the DRS straights. Beautifully done so far from Jab. Has a Red Bull, or sorry, a McLaren behind him. Jab, beautifully done there. Turn 3, now to turn 4. Looks like it's a great sector 1 for Jab. It's a 35.4. It's purple sector 1. So 3/10 up, or 3.5 tenths better, I should say, than his last sector 1. Can he keep it up now? Jab getting ready to go through the castle section. Stays committed. 3rd gear, beautifully done. Quickly up to 4th. Now down to the fast, long left-hand, not long left-handers, but the fast-paced left-handers. Jab. Beautifully done there. Down to 3rd gear he goes. Now to the end of sector 2. Looks like a great lap from Jab so far. It's a 1:16.2. Beautiful lap there. This could be a beautiful lap here from Jab. Now to the S's. And Jab. Well, can he put this on the top? Could he put it on the front row? Where does Jab go? He had a horrible race last week. He didn't end the way we wanted. But he's going to try and start off boxing right now to the line. Jab goes, and it's to the top.
He takes pole over Matty Mamu. He's the next one to go to the 40.5s even faster. Next up, starting laps, that's JNT, I believe, and Polo God. Polo God also starting a lap. Rowdy, let's go on board with Rowdy in the McLaren, who's currently 8th and trying to get slipstream from Jab. Look at that. Perfectly executed. Now the Red Bull up to the line. TJR, he's also within a 10th of Jab. Next up is Matty Mamu and Pluto, both Haas drivers. Pluto, I don't think he could improve. Next up is Matty. I don't think they could improve either unless they are starting laps and that's glitched. I believe it is. However, 2/10 for Rowdy now. 2/10 off his best time. Chungus left the session. He'll need an invite. Now Rowdy, he's aborted that lap completely. Next up to the line. Unless he's starting a lap, unless he's completing a lap, JNT's invalidated. He's done. Actually, I think he improved on Rowdy. Never mind, the game glitched again. He is 8th. He will qualify 8th. Next up, improving is Polo God. 2/10 up on his time. Can Polo God make Aston Martin see the pole for the first time? It would be a great sight for Aston Martin as a team for what they need, let alone for the league, to have all 10 teams on the pole. Oh, touches the barrier for a moment. However, what's the improvement looking like? It is 7/10. He is currently 4/10 off pole. Can Polo God go back to pole? And can anybody behind him beat him? And can we see someone into the 39s? Polo God on the run to the start-finish line. Recently stepped down his corner, has focused more on racing. Is he going to focus on a pole today? Yes, he is! He's on the top, 40.3, provisional pole for Polo God. Next up is Jab. Jab aborts. Rowdy's aborted. Next up is the Haas. That's Matty Mumu. Can he say something? 2/10 off. He's going to have to find somewhat of an improvement to beat him. He'll have to be in the 40.3s. Can he do it? No, he misses out by a 10th. Can Pluto do it? Pluto misses out again. Rice, does he miss out? No, barely. TJR's next, but that is it. Polo God takes Aston Martin's first pole position in the league and also returns to the pole after a drought from the end of January. From the last time he saw pole, he's back on it. Didn't make Q3 at all last season. He's also made it to Q3, but made it to the top on pole for the first time since Brazil. Polo God is back.
And that now, with Aston Martin getting pole, every team has gotten a pole in the league.
Woo! Wow. After the struggles we'd seen in the first parts of Q1, Q2, with Polo God smacking the wall, hitting the wall, thinking he would not make it through to Q3, thinking that he would not even set a lap in Q3, thinking that he was on pole for a moment, had it stolen from both Haas drivers, now takes pole position back. He starts first today, and another pole position for the 8th consecutive week, below a 10th. This is going to be a good race.
Very, very, and, you know, although you
Needs
put
this.
in your journalist, Polo was going to be the driver to struggle. Well, doesn't look he struggled so far.
I'm not going to say anything about a reverse jinx yet because I know how those work if I say something. However, I will tell you this. This is something this guy needed. The last 3 results for Polo God since the Singapore Grand Prix have all been 13th or worse. This pole helps him at least start better to avoid the chaos. He's got Rice Cracker alongside him. He's got Matty Mumu up there again. Matty Mumu misses out on pole. Pluto was up there too. He even improved. He was what, 4th, 5th, 6th area? That was one of his worst qualifyings of the season position-wise. And up there as well, Rowdy had to abort the lap. Rowdy could not get the maximum that he could get. We saw him abort the lap there as well. J&T was up there in this session. Polo God, though, making Aston Martin the 10th team to take pole, the final team to take pole. And you know what? I must say, it is a lovely sight to see Aston Martin back up there. It's a lovely sight to see Polo God back up there. He had a collision with Chungus in Singapore, resulting in a penalty. He had a collision recently with Jab, resulting in a Hungary. In Hungary, he said himself that he has not felt like himself in these races. He's had trouble in these races himself. However, what he has just done right there has proved to him that he is not done yet, and he's looking for a first win today, let alone back on the podium. Last time he's seen the podium, well, you go all the way back to France last season. It's been a long, long time. Well, here you go. Here is the grid. Here is the tires they are starting on. Chungus and Joe on the softs. On the hards is Will, J&T, and I believe that's it. Everyone else is on the medium, so they are either wanting to go medium hard or try a 2-stop, which could be unlikely, but if you have the safety car brought out at any point in this race, which is very likely at a track like this, we could see that strategy happen. Pluto, yeah, worst qualifying of the season. That is 6th. I'm shocked by that. So there you go. However, let's go through 2 favorites. I'm going to go with Matty Mumu in 3rd place. This is a good track for him statistically when you look at the leagues such as ARL. Even you go back to SRS or really any other race I've heard about regarding Matty Momo. Really, this season you go back to Matty Momo. And the other race at Hungary. I know it's not a street circuit, I understand Baku, however, showed promising pace, showed what he's capable of. He outqualified his teammate. He also could have won last week. He's on the verge, trying to win his first race, let alone be on the podium. First out of him and his brother to be on the podium. I'm also going to go at the back of the field with Joe. He started back here last week and was able to take a podium. In a race like this today, can Joe take a first win? He's looking for a first win. Didn't have any points as a full-time driver up until last week. Now he's taken 2 podiums, and he's looking for that first win once again. 2 favorites, Thatcher.
Yeah, I will start with the pole sitter, Polo. Beautifully done. Gives Aston Martin's first pole in the history. And now with this great start to the race weekend, can he finish it off with a win? I'm going to we'll go Sam Steve 15th. We've been talking about it. 10 straight appearances that he has missed Q3. Well, can Sam Steed, even with it, try to get through chaos and get towards the back end of the points?
Here we go. For the start of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It is the 19th different circuit you think about in URS that has been raced. 18th if you want to include actual Grand Prix that have been ran. The last driver to go onto their grid slot will be QBR20 Joseph. Going to the line now. Here we go. I think only 1 or 2 drivers have been disqualified from that formation lap with their grid slots. Here we go. Heading up to 5 red lights here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Here we go. They rev it up. For Baku, it's lights out, and away we go. Racecracker off the line, darts to the right, and is trying to go alongside Paulo. He goes into the lead already. They make contact. Paulo spins from the lead, and from Paul, off he goes from contact with Rice. Rice now takes over the lead as Jab takes second, and there's contact between TJR and Matty, and they're 3 wide for third. Now, all jockeying for position on the run down to turn 3. They're going to be side by side and even 3 wide for a moment. Here's TJR, side by side. Oh, they go wide. They make contact. They're crashing. And luckily, I think that's kept most cars out of the wall. With Gagi making contact, Joseph making contact. There's Kostag now making contact. J&T making contact. All ghosting through one another. Down the field also goes Chungus. All darting for positions. Now, side by side through turn 6 right there. That's not a corner you usually see side by side action. But now, Racecracker leads Jab, then leads a 3-second gap all the way to 3rd place.
Very chaotic. As you said, it's a chaotic track. You're gonna have chaos regardless. But you just have to feel the Polo.
Yeah.
Just talking. I jinxed him this time.
I didn't pick him. That's exactly why. However, I think that incident in itself had to do a lot with the contact model because Racecracker did pinch him. I think that's fair to say. However, the contact would not be severe and it would not put him around if it were not for the contact model. That is a big part of racing nowadays, and it's a bummer as he's now off and into the barrier. No front wing for the Aston Martin drivers, and his woes continue. 3rd place, TJR takes it over Pluto. Slipstreaming down the straight and has got more straight line speed to take over 3rd place in this race. As Racecracker leads lap 1, and pitting is Chungus, who also may have picked up damage in that process. Also pitting is Sam and Polo God. Polo God also, no front wing for him. 3rd place once again looks close, however, nothing can be made of it. Same thing behind that. However, down positions goes Gagi. Here's Mac Bikeman and his teammate going at it. Polo God, 5 seconds for him, speeding in the pit lane now. His woes also continue once more. Now, for the lead. It is close. Jab was there for a second, within a 10th, and Racecracker struggling to start this race on the medium tires. The gap between 3rd and 1st and even 2nd has now gone down to 2nd.
Very close. Jab almost got to the back of him. in turn 5, but was able to not make contact. But TJR has gained on the top 2. It was 3.1. It's now 2.1.
The two AlphaTauris run close together. The two AlphaTauris have gained spots. 6 for Joseph, 3 for Kostag, 3 for Rowdy, by the way. Good start to his race. He's looking for a first podium in this league. He's in the train to contend for it. 2 for Pluto, 2 for TJR, 2 for Jeb, 7 for Toneless, 8 for Joe, who started 19th, very dead last of the grid. Now, Foley also overtakes Goggy at the final braking zone, going by, but losing the rear, getting passed back, gonna go wheel to wheel. Here's a bit more contact between the both. Fastest lap now, TJR, he takes it. Look at the 3-car train at the back of this field as DRS gets enabled. Here's Aaron Ocon. There's also Joseph down the order. Joseph's off at turn 1. But into turn 1, there's Aaron down the inside. Foley's getting challenged. Goggy's getting challenged. They're trying to go 3 wide. However, Goggy has to back out of that. Aaron goes wide now. Foley tries to switch back. It's all chaos at the back of the field for 14th place as Joseph lost 4 places there and on the run with his teammate. Now they're going to go 3 wide. Oh, Goggy down the inside. Foley has to concede, and the position swaps there, as the position also swaps between, I believe, Kostag and JNT. Wow.
Yeah, real quickly, beautifully done move by Aaron Khan. Was able to get by Foley, or not Foley, I'm sorry, Goggy into turn 1, and then was able to get the move on Foley right before turn 2. So nice little sequence there. Double overtake time there for Aaron.
Most definitely, and I think the thing too is like he pinched him. He gone wide. He entered wide into the corner. However, he still was fair, was clean, and executed the move to avoid himself in a collision, let alone on the wall. We've got 3 drivers who've pitted to start this race. Chungus on the hards, Sam and Polo on the softs, maybe waiting for a safety car to come out to pit for the hards. However, they're almost half a lap down in this race too, so that's also something to watch out for. Kostag leads a small train. Also leading a small train is TJR. Rowdy's falling out of that now, and also falling out for the lead was Jab on Rice. However, DRS is keeping Jab in this once again, as Pluto takes the fastest lap and was close to the barrier at turn 1. We've got
really
trouble for Polo God once again, by the way. Does not pick up damage this time. However, there were yellow flags for him. Will Chromac gets passed by Aaron Ocon. Aaron Ocon continuing to gain places. He's showing his pace. However, unlike qualifying, what he'll have to do is keep it out of the walls. Here's his next contender, Joseph F1, on the run down to turn 3. Chungus takes fastest lap. They're going to be side by side. Joseph has a bit of foaming damage from earlier, but Aaron executes another beautiful move into turn 3. What are we seeing from the O'Callahans? You know, the qualifying from Polo was great. The racing so far from Aaron, who slipped down the field, but then gained it right back, is also amazing. We're seeing some great stuff from these two. The 2 Irishmen in this league who still race. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. TJR. And he's out.
That sucks, man. He had a good qualifying. He looked like he was going to have good pace in the race. However, it's over for him. He retires in the pit lane. Goggy also goes by Joseph, entering the castle section. That was a scary place to make a move. However, with Joseph's damage, he may have let him by.
TJR have a little problem behind him, but in his rear view is both tops. Oh, but Sam's out.
Oh, this time that one's a crash, and this is now a safety car. It's his 2nd retirement in 4 laps now. Does anyone at the top of the field choose to pit? I don't see anybody right now. Here's Costo. He's thinking about it. Joe might pit. I think Joe's going to pit. And with this strategy, it makes sense to. Here he comes. Oh, he avoids the barrier just barely. And here's Mac as well. Goggy, or sorry, that's Aaron. Aaron pitting. Joseph pitting. Smart moves from these guys, especially if they have damage, and especially for Joe on those soft tires to make the most of it, to now go to hards. And now under the safety car, Rowdy is out. Has he crashed into the safety car? He has. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's also a lot of position change, I believe, between JNT and Kostag too for 6th. Oh no.
I'm just gonna stop complimenting drivers. All three drivers, the main three drivers I've complimented in today's race, are now the first three drivers out. I may have to retire from being a commentator after the season.
I don't think Polo God's too happy about what happened. That's something I can say. For sure. I can say that because I do not find him in the URS server. However, what I will say though, still got a race to go, and we still got a race to see at the front of the field if any of these front guys in the top 11 will pit. Because they've yet to make their pit stops. I would assume at least 9 of them could pit, or have the potential to, considering they're in the mediums. And they could make the hards go the rest of the way, possibly. Can't say for sure, but possibly. It'll be a stretch,
Yeah.
but they're maybe waiting.
Polo left the server.
Well then. From the high to the high to the low, and yeah, that's not good.
And Rowdy said the safety car just turned literally right in front of Rowdy.
Oh, there you go. That's why that ended up in a retirement then. It also sucks for Sam too, because Sam had a lot of promise going into this race as well. And unfortunate. I think there was also a position change between JNT and also Kostag. Wow. What a crazy event we've seen to the start of this race. I mean, I really think from the time the race started, really, all the way till now, it's been chaotic. Even with 20 laps remaining, still have a long way to go too. Sam Steed, Rowdy, all that quits in the session. Even though they retired, they could have stayed in the session if they chose to or not. And they decided that they're quite frustrated with the end result there as well. Reasonably so. Sam had a lot of hopes in this race as well. I know I talked to him beforehand, and it just did not work out.
Yeah, that's unlucky.
It is. It's very unlucky for a lot of these drivers too, who got damaged at the opening laps, continue to lose motivation. I'm not specifying anything specifically, but I mean, it's also game. It's also lack of enjoyment. Some say driving standards, sometimes myself, but I know drivers have a right to feel the way they do. And Rowdy just is failing to understand the unluckiness that has followed him, because this is now for Rowdy another chance at a podium possibly gone. Running up there in the top 6 area until he hit the safety car, and the safety car pulling right in front of him. Which is very unfortunate to start this race. It's not what you want to see.
No, definitely not. That's, I've had a few run-ins with the safety car myself.
I have to.
So,
It's not pretty.
I feel this frustration.
I know. I do too. However, we've got the back of the field. We got Crash! That's Joe into the barrier! Under the safety car! That's not good for Red Bull, who is gaining spots off the start, pitted for the hards. And does Mac have damage too? Mac does. Something's happened with Mac, Aaron, Joe, all under the safety car. Around the 13th place area, causing Joe to lose a front wing, Mac to lose bits of his front wing. It's just all coming down to Baku. And I'm not saying, you know, it's necessarily the track itself or the drivers itself, but it sort of tells me there are certain parts of the season with People like Paulo God giving up, Sam losing motivation, hell, even Lando backing out of a full-time seat. There are certain things that tell me, and that almost assure me 100%, even every time I say it, that the schedule needs to be shorter. The schedule either A, needs to be shorter, or not even just needs to be shorter, but B, the certain tracks that are chosen need to be changed to other tracks that are chosen. I know there's some people who don't find issues with the schedule this season. That's understandable. However, my personal opinion, I do. I find a problem with the amount of races. I find a problem with certain tracks in the calendar, and I understand the people saying you should be able to race clean regardless of the track. However, is it tracks people enjoy? Anyway, back onto the racing. Safety car will come in at the end of this lap and is heading to the pit lane. Now Racecracker will lead the way. Joe will have to make a pit stop. Mac possibly too. And Mac, who's also looking for his first points today, could likely be denied. Joe is now going off at the final braking zone. Mac has passed Aaron under safety car. Oh no, we've got trouble back here. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like how this is going. That's not good at the back of the field, how they're trying to swap places. As we restart now with Racecracker leading the way, trying to break the slipstream before turn 1, and TJR is also pulling alongside Jab before the start finish. Did he overtake him before the start finish? Jab gets overtaken by TJR. Also an overtake between Kostag and JNT. Blue Doggy and Toneless also on one another. Toneless going wide. Now that's allowed Will to pull alongside. Gonna be side by side to turn 2. Will darts to the inside. Oh, loses the rear on the exit. However, Toneless gets back by. Matty Mumu also falling in the wings of Pluto, trying to gain on Jab as well for position. That's all for a podium place, but the gap between the lead is a second. Oh, Foley down the inside of Will. Will making contact with the back of Foley. Now Aaron Ocon ducking out and going to go to the inside. He has pulled off another one again. Now Will tries to challenge back with the cutback. Can't do anything of it. Joseph also trying to make way. Joseph goes through on Will. Aaron with another great move. Here's Chungus trying to get into the field. Now to the inside of Foley. On the run to turn 7. Gonna be side by side. Chungus pulls to the inside. Gets ahead. However, they're gonna be side by side into the castle section. Foley has to back out, and surely he did.
Yeah, towards the back, Joseph almost getting into the barrier, entering the castle section. So
Aaron, the same thing too.
Back, so it looks like towards the back, everyone's getting, a mess. But towards the front, we have a train. The URS train from TJ on back to this battle between Chungus and Villains.
Chungus made another good move there again, late on the brakes and just executing it very well. Trying to get himself up the field, especially with what happened toward the back of the field with that safety car mess. From 14th place on back, we've now got a yellow flag. That is Mac Bikeman retiring from the session with the damage. That's their 4th retirement, and that will bring out yellow flags. Is that a VSC or a safety car?
I think it's a VSC.
Let's see. Cannot tell. I hate how they does that. It is a VSC. Toneless pits for new tires. Joseph pits, I believe, for front wing. Nope, his is new tires as well. Gets off the tires he was on. Joe is also staying out, I believe. He avoided the walls. He's had quite the race so far, and he didn't even get to qualify. I think everyone at the front of the field, though, has situated themselves out for this race, so that's a good thing there. 4 retirements within the first 9 laps of this race. We're under the VSC. Waiting to go back green. Rice leads this race, trying to win 2 in a row. TJR trying to win 3 races in a season, let alone pass some people in the all-time win list.
Yeah. Sorry, my mic cut out. Right. But I have to go to the restroom, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, alright, gotcha. Sam Steed also mentioned about his retirement that he was last at the beginning of the lap, yet he still got damage. And he's quite annoyed with how people have been racing, which is probably what caused the DNF, I would assume. Maybe contact with others or lost it by himself. I think he lost it by himself after he had the damage because he had a pit lap 1, which makes sense on why the wing damage was there. Rice has now hit the wall, I believe, out of the turn 19, which has allowed TJR to go by for the race lead. Race-changing moments for the lead. Now TJR to the lead. Rice trying to take it back, but can't make anything of it. DRS has now been enabled, and now we got a 3-car battle on this front straight. Foley trying to break the slipstream. No, he pits. Whoa, that was close. Now Will, Aaron, side by side into turn 1. Gonna be side by side. But for the lead, though, TJR's gone off from the lead. Took the lead from Rice, but now he's out. Or sorry, he's off. And he is down and outside the points. Aaron now and Will for 9th place. Here's Aaron to the inside. Ducking to make a move. Goes by. Aaron gets another spot. Good racing from Aaron. We love watching this guy race sometimes. Also love to see the battle at the front of the field, and especially what happened to TJR. I'm surprised about that. He just spun off the lead. Could have been a bit of contact. I'm not sure. However, he's in the wall because of it. And Toneless now pits for softs. Foley pitting for hards. But the whole top 7 have yet to pit. Same with Will and TJ, by the way, who also have yet to pit.
Alright, I am back.
Welcome back.
Alright, so,
Sam mentioned
looks like
as well, too.
Pluto...
Go ahead.
No, what was I saying?
I was gonna say, Sam also mentioned his races. I was mentioning, he was one thing he mentioned. He mentioned it with his retirement, it's the price you pay good in qualifying. And that proves itself once again. We saw for a moment Thrasher TJR take the lead. Then we saw TJR go off and in the wall. Could have had contact from Rice. Could have been on his own. However, it is a battle once again for this lead. Blue Goggy now pits toward the halfway point. Chungus takes the fastest lap. DRS enabled. And now Rice struggling. He's in the wall. I think he tapped it for a moment. Now Jab is looking to take the lead. Here's Jab pulling Pluto alongside with him. Pluto pulls alongside Rice. Jab goes ahead. Jab takes the lead. Now Pluto challenging. Can't make anything of it in the braking zone. Wow.
Yeah, so I was going to wonder what happened to TJR, because I know when I left he was battling for the lead.
Yeah, most definitely. And look at how quick things change in this race. Look at how the top 7 within a DRS train, and Chungus, the first driver in this race to pit. However, we got a question. Even though he pitted and even though he made the scheduled pit stop, he has to. He's got to make those tires last at the end. If he doesn't, he's got Aaron Ocon there to pounce behind him, who's 5 seconds behind and pitted under the first safety car. So yeah, we've got some crazy moments in this race and crazy positions waiting to be swapped. So we've seen a lot go on thus far.
Yeah, definitely. Something else interesting to point out. I know you brought up about what Sam said about paying the price. Well, I mean, it doesn't look like it's necessarily true, because Bounty had a great starting spot. Polo had a great starting spot. Polo started on pole.
Sure.
And
He was at the back of the field, still got damage. Here we go.
Yeah.
Pitting. Pitting is Jab, your race leader. And he's got to get it slowed down. Kostag also pits from the front of the field. J&T gets overtaken by Chungus. Chungus goes a bit wide, allowing J&T to cut him back down the inside line for turn 2. However, Chungus will have the spot. However, J&T will have DRS on the run down to turn 3, trying to make the move once again to get back by. Put overtake on for a second. However, Chungus pulls to the left side, trying to defend. However, lucky
Jab
thing
now comes out.
Yeah, that is right behind TJ, by the way, where he came out. However, I think the lucky thing for these drivers on the run down to turn 3 is they fixed the curbing and that invisible curb that would send you straight on. I think they fixed that in a recent update because you don't see that curb there much anymore. Toneless, fastest laps on those softs. Joe also comes out right behind Kostag as Kostag is trying to warm up those hard tires. However, although we got 1, 2, and 3 within about a second of each other, within this gap, and now 4 and 5 as Rice goes wide, we do have Nat race leader technically, Aaron Ocon in 6th. He'll be leading if the front 5 are able to pit. Chungus may stretch it because he pitted at the very start of this race, and now Matty, I think, hits the wall. He may have picked up damage. may keep it clean, may have picked up damage. We don't know. We can't see anything yet from the damage. However, he's still going and with the DRS of Rice and got Chungus right on his rear gearbox. Here we go. 4 cars following one another.
So do we see the leaders pit? We do. We see Pluto pit, Rice pits, Max stays out.
So Matty will have to defend from Chungus. And we'll have to keep this lead for now in order to help defend for Pluto's sake again. This is vice versa. Pluto defended for Matty last week to help out with Rice. Now Matty might have to defend from Chungus and J&T to help out in this sake for the lead. Or possibly people who will challenge Pluto. Yellow flags. That's Rice Cracker retiring from the race. I think that's out of the pit lane. And then we'll bring out a safety car helping Matty's race, as well as Chungus and J&T's. But this will hurt Pluto's too, because he just pitted.
Pluto jumped jab. He jumped jab.
That was technically the net lead in a way. With the people who had not pitted under the safety car, that was the net lead. So there you go. Wow.
Well, this is now the second safety car. Well, technically third in general because we had a VSC. But this is our second full course safety car, I should say.
I have to seriously wonder with certain people like Sam, and I'll even say Paulo God, with what happened with their Season 1 and Season 2 seasons. Now you go into F1 22 at Season 3. What has just happened since then? I also wonder what's happened sort of with the amount of safety cars. I think last season we had that under control. However, there's just certain races where you see a pit stop happen for the leaders. You are almost guaranteed a safety car, and I do not mean that in a bad way. However, I just wonder what causes that. What has been the main cause to see a safety car around that time? Because Matty could have predicted it, Chungus could have predicted it, maybe even J&T could have too. Because they are now pitting in this race up at the front of the field. Aaron Ocon stays out. He'll inherit the lead. This will get interesting here, surely. Will Cromack pits. TJR pits. Pluto stays out. And we'll have to find out when Matty comes out, by the way, as Will Cromack gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And now, Chungus and Matty come out of the pit lane right near Pluto. And Matty has timed that perfect to get ahead of Pluto, but to have Pluto get ahead of Chungus, as Joseph also gets a 5-second for speeding. We have yellow flags, by the way, in the front straight. I don't know what happened there, but there's Joe. Oh, wait. He's in the pit lane now. What? What?
I just saw that too.
That's a concern.
Gotta love this game. There's also a glitch in qualifying where...
and
and
is this
Joe's...
off or is this a glitch? He's off.
I think he actually went off this time.
I see that. What the hell is going on?
I was gonna say in qualifying, there's now a glitch apparently where you have to what was I saying? Oh, it took away, like, you know, when you're on an outlap, it took the outlap next to you.
Yeah.
Well, it takes it away before you even finish your outlap.
Correct, and that's once you hit Sector 3, I believe, which is confusing to us, and I noticed that last week, and I noticed that in this qualifying session today, so, yeah. Another EA Cody mess up I've noticed in this game. I don't understand, you know, I mean, I know I can't say it myself how easy it is to make a game. I don't know that myself. However, how easy is it, or how hard is it really for the people who make games to not get an update right to wherever it doesn't mess something up? You know, because it's just simple, stupid things over and over and over again. And it's part of the reason why we see people get demotivated and not want to race. The glitches outrule the enjoyment, and that is part of it. And Foley said Joe is desyncing, so that might make sense on what we just saw, by the way. So, that now may make sense.
Yeah.
Heads up. All heads up.
Let's see. So we've passed halfway.
Correct.
We're now at
So that's a good
15
thing.
out of 26.
That's the first good thing. Not the whole time, but the first good thing that you're about to mention, I think.
Yeah, but a bad thing, after we were just barely past halfway, we've already got 5 retirements.
Yeah.
Obviously,
safety cars beat safety cars too.
Obviously you as a league owner, would like that number to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
But, at least we haven't seen any given up.
Well, we kind of have, Polo.
Well, okay.
I know
I'm
that
not
was due
into
to the crash. I know.
Polo.
But I'm just putting that out there because he gave up under the pit lane, just retired. But yeah, I hear you on that one because the others have been crash outs, and I look at things that I see in the main chat. I look at things I see all the time between drivers voicing displeasure. I try to listen to the drivers as much as I can because it's a league of we the people in a way, because you guys are the reason that this league is still continuing, but it's also the reason why I'm still able to provide you with a league, because a lot of leagues out there are not able to still continue or having a lot of issues throughout tiers or one tier or different divisions, certain platforms, you name it. So yeah, I when I see messages like TJR last night, how he said part of it is to do with the track, I understand it. I think this one is part of it. However, I can also see statements like Pluto said, does not give people an excuse to race horribly. I also understand that. So I try to look at both perspectives of it. However, shortening the schedule with the amount of races and putting only certain tracks on the calendar is where it hopefully all starts. However, we've got the safety car in this lap. And 5 retirements is what we got right now. However, safety cars breed safety cars. Will we see another one? We've seen 2 safety cars, 1 VSC. However, the safety car enters the pit lane. Aaron is waiting to go. Now he's on the gas now, and he's got cars behind him trying to go side by side and jockey for position. Here's Matty Momo in the slipstream, trying to gain on Aaron and trying to go to the inside already. Cannot make anything of it before turn 1. However, Aaron runs a bit wide, allowing for a cutback from Matty. We've got positions between TJR and Will being traded. Foley and Joe being traded. There's Joseph as well in the mix. Kostag and Gagi. Now Chungus running wide at turn 2. All positions being swapped in the opening laps of the safety car restart. Here's Will Kromek in the slipstream Magagi. Here's TJR also trying to overtake J&T and Jab now. Position traded between them. TJR down the inside of Gagi. Gonna go side by side. Now Will's trying to make it 3 wide. Gagi goes ahead. Now it's Joseph down the inside of Will. Gonna be side by side here for position. Joseph using a bit of his overtake, trying to go around the outside. They make contact. Joseph had to run out of road there. And now Will trying to hold the position from the far outside, and luckily does so to avoid collision.
Yeah, it's getting close. Close to come between teammates. We're close between Maddie and Pluto for second place. But now, Chungus, 1 mediums, all over the back of Pluto.
Also, the guys in 9th and 10th place also have a bit of history from Italy, also have a bit of history from the last couple of weeks. Not just Italy, too. So, those 2 have been added on the track and off the track. So, that's one battle we'll have to watch out for to make sure those 2 drivers ensure that they're clean. However, 2 drivers to ensure they'll be clean will first be Pluto and Chungus, but ahead of that for the lead, here's Matty pulling alongside Aaron and going ahead for the lead. Now Chungus darting to the inside of Pluto. This is for the podium. Pluto has done everything to try to protect from Chungus the whole race. However, Chungus down the inside, side by side. And Pluto has to dart out and has to back out of that one. Position traded right there.
Here goes J&T.
Couldn't make anything of it. Yeah, however, he's on the run down to turn 3, trying to make something of it in the slipstream, and with overtake engaged, here he comes to the inside. Side by side behind that, there's Kostag, there's contact. Pluto's run off. Pluto is off. And he got ran wide and had to avoid collision, and let alone hitting the wall. And now Jab is off as well. He's done the same as Pluto. He's tried to avoid collision. 2 drivers who are in the top 4 in the championship had to go wide there. in the runoff to avoid collisions.
That's just
Unlucky for both.
yeah. Also, J&T lost some time. Looked like it was a glitch. Maybe he was looking like he was going straight for the wall.
Yeah, he's also on new mediums with Chungus. Sorry to cut in there.
No, you're all good. But now Chungus will most likely get Aaron this. Actually, maybe won't get Aaron this lap.
Well, he could. He's a lot closer. And Aaron is actually a lot higher on the battery. However, if he gets Aaron, it has to be now to catch Matty Mumu. Here's Aaron defending, but Chungus on the better medium tires will pull alongside without even DRS being enabled. Has the straight line speed and is trying to gain and gain and gain on our leader, but takes second place away. DRS now enabled. So that is important for Chungus to try to catch Matty. 1.3 that gap. And Chungus will be looking for a third podium, but a first race win, which is more important to him right now. Third place.
Yeah, if there's a team that I really want to see get a race win, it's this Williams team. They've been so close so many times. But Jab and Chungus.
Now with where Pluto is gone, he's gone toward the midfield, and in this battle, fifth on back, Kostag leading that train. Will involved, Joseph involved, Joe involved, Gagi too. All jockeying for positions late in this race, and with penalties for speeding, by the way, is Will Cromack and Joseph. So Pluto would automatically get 8th from that as long as he doesn't have any issues himself. And just shy of the points too is Florian Foley. Now J&T trying on the back of Aaron for a podium position. Aston Martin, one of the only teams yet to score a podium this season. You wanna know another one yet to score a podium this season? Alpine. They'd be the only one if Aston Martin get a podium today. For the season.
And very true, but Chungus, so close.
He has struggled all weekend to find a good setup too. Look at this.
And to get the DRS.
Even maybe before the DRS, in turn 20, exiting turn 20. Now to the DRS, it's applied, it's overtake as well, which was applied. For the lead now, Chungus takes it on lap 18 as we head to lap 19 with the fastest lap. Aaron also gets overtaken by J&T for third. Behind that, TJR is also trying on Kostag. These two have history too. Pluto goes by Joseph before turn 1, but Pluto runs wide. Here's Joseph. Toneless on Florian Foley. Gonna be side by side. Toneless gets pushed out. All positions being swapped and being traded and being fought for the end of this race to find out where they want to finish, where they could finish, and trying to maximize the most of it from every driver.
Yeah, this is exactly what we want to see. We want to see nice, entertaining battles. And speaking of nice, entertaining battles, Matty Mumu isn't exactly going away from Chungus.
Chat, there is 9 of you watching. Get us your thoughts late race. What is going to happen with 7 or so laps to go with this finish? I believe that was Kostek smacked the wall with the rear. Didn't lose too much time from it. TJR now has left the session in 6th place. He'll have to receive another invite. That could potentially be internet related.
Looks
So
like
you'll
his game crashed because it says he's on home.
Ah, I see. Speaking of that, though, for position, here's Gagi right now trying to take the spot away. Does so for 6th place. Behind that, here's Will also trying to take it away. He's getting 7th from that. Now Pluto is getting DRS from that. As he's joining back the session, he'll have to come in at a good time because he's in the front straight now. We got yellow flags. That's fully out of this race. Will they bring out a safety car? And it does. So this has changed the outcome of this race. Joe realizes he's too late to pit. Joseph pits now. Toneless does. So we have now got a late race safety car. Wow.
If I'm Jab there, I would have pitted right there. He was already in last. Why not stay in last? But go one fresh softs like Joseph and Thomas are doing.
Yeah, little race. Little chance to do so. Softs can last. It's a matter of the drivers questioning if they will overheat or not. So they'll have to make that decision themselves. Joseph and Thomas will have the advantage if they're the only ones to pit. Jab, he'll have to go around one more time, like I said, or like I was going to say, to get to the pit lane. Jab, also going off with Pluto at turn 4. Pluto's was at turn 3 from contact with JT to avoid the wall. And you see the end result of where their races lie. You also see how much they'll have to recover in these last couple of laps. Pluto, I'm really surprised about this. He's not seen the podium a whole lot recently. Belgium was a race where he just had contact with Will quite a bit during the race. Belgium was a race where he didn't finish on the podium. It was his first race this season. He didn't finish on the podium. Then you go back to last week at Hungary, where he had issues, making him not see the podium. I wouldn't say issues, but I'd say issues on strategy, actually, referring to that. Because he probably could have pitted when Matty and the rest of the field did. You also have today, where he was battling for a podium and now outside of that podium. Staying out, though, on the Aston Martin, trying to win his first race of the season, will be JNT. This will be interesting. Gagi pits, Will pits, TJR. Oh, crashing! We've got a crash at the pit lane! That's TJR with damage. Pluto's, I think, got damage. That was all because of Will, TJ, Joe, and Pluto making contact there at the pit entrance. And now Pluto, I think, will have to repair that front wing. Yeah, they will. Wow. Everybody is well pitting under the softs except for Will. Joseph stays out on those softs. He'll overtake a couple of cars because they have to pit for front wing damage. That's crucial to his race. Aaron was on 15-lap hards. He is also pitted. Gonna be some topsy-turvy finish to this race with the way we've seen this results for Jab, TJ, and Pluto. Guys who've had a lot of pace to start the season. Guys who've won races before, like TJR and Pluto and even Will, are all at the back of this field now. What is going on? They just stopped on the pit entrance. I don't know why. If they had to slow down to avoid speeding, whatever it was, it caused damage. And now we've got JT who stayed out.
Real quick, I love the move here from JNT. Oh, okay, that's wonderful. And I love the move here from JNT. He has to try something. He was running. Obviously he was running with the leaders, but he wasn't towards the front of that pack. So to take out, to stay out, I meant, on the mediums. Granted, everyone behind him now is on fresh softs, except for Will in P10. But I like this decision from JNT. Now, will it work?
I am back. So as we're on to lap 22 now, the leader, we have him staying out of the mediums, thinking the mediums will be the preferred tire for him to try to win this race, let alone track position. And he'll have to make sure he saves up that battery. Matty Mumu, first driver on softs to contend. Chungus as well is still left in this race. Chungus contending for the win at Saudi Arabia. My surprise of the weekend was going to be Kostag. I said Kostag would do well. Well, guess what? He started back in 11th place and has gained 7 spots and is contending for a first win, let alone a podium. Gagi also could see his best finish today. He's running right now in his best spot yet. Well, result-wise, I should say. He ran up the front before, we know that, but he's not finished there. So, to finish first you have to finish. And I've noticed I've lagged out of the party with Thrasher. It's lovely. It will not let me connect. It will not let me connect to a party. I don't know why that is. That is frustrating. I don't know why. It will not let me connect to a party. It says party encountered an error. Gotta love it. What is going on? I'm glitched. I'm glitched. I think you're gonna have to have me just commentate the last couple of laps here because I cannot connect to a party with Thrasher. However, you can hear me. I know that. But it will not let me go to a party. I do not know why. It just says error each single time. Well, safety car is in this lap, and this is concerning that it's not letting me connect. However, we'll do Thrasher in a Discord call. We'll try that. However, safety car in this lap, J&T leading the way, trying to pick and choose when he's gonna go. Let's see. J&T leading the go, holding the pack back. Now, when does he go? He goes now. Overtake buttons engaged. He's got Matty along with him, trying to pull along. We've got cars in the midfield trying to jockey for position. Here we go. For third place, Chungus and Kostag, they make contact. Also making contact is Pluto, who's down the field and spun around with Joseph. TJR also may have got a piece as well. Now TJ is going to be side by side with Will now for position. Up in front of that, Joe challenging Aaron. But for the lead, Matty Momo couldn't make anything of J&T. Oh, but he's right in the back of him. Now Thrasher's left the session. Chungus and Kostag gonna be side by side. Kostag goes off and has to use the runoff and re-enters right behind Gagi. And now gonna be side by side with Aaron. Kostag down the inside of Gagi, sends it and almost sends him into a wall. That was late and aggressive from Kostag. Very aggressive, very bold. And now Joe is got by Aaron. Aaron struggling though, as he's not on the hards anymore. Jab is close. Fourth position, but outside the points right now is Pluto and Joseph. Pluto has never been outside the points in a race that he has finished. I will get you an invite, Thrasher, to this session. Matty Momo, Chungus. Positions also are trying to be swapped right there with 3 laps to go this time. J&T leads the way though, and he is trying to finish this off for a first win since Russia. His first win came on a street circuit. He's trying for a second win now on a street circuit. Here we go. Chungus also pulling alongside to try to challenge for the lead. These are the first of the soft tires. Matty and Chungus. Matty stays ahead though. Chungus trying for the switchback. Can't make anything of it. Now here we go for the lead. Matty pulling to the inside of J&T. Here he comes for the lead with the overtake button engaged. He's going to go down the inside, and he takes the lead away. Now it is Chungus's chance to go for the second spot to take the lead, or at least contend for it, with J&T in the mediums. Pluto, by the way, on the fringe of points. Also to put that out there. Will and Joseph got their 5 seconds served as well. Here we go. He needs to get by J&T this lap, or at least have J&T be in DRS in order for Chungus to have a chance at this race win. Oh, he's right in the back of him. He's right close to the wall, too. He's pulling Kostag along with him. And Gagi is also trying to challenge for a final podium spot. Matty, never seen the podium. J&T hasn't won since you go back all the way to Season 2, Round 4, Russia, about 13 or so rounds ago. Chungus hasn't ever won. 3rd podium on Quest. Here he goes to the inside. Gonna be side by side and wheel to wheel. No DRS for Chungus at all. Now the DRS is enabled. Kostag with the fastest lap. Chungus down the inside of JNT. He goes through. Kostag slides for 4th. Now Chungus has to get himself within a second. He may have just barely been in it or barely out of it. He was barely out of it. Joseph now with the fastest lap. JNT's got DRS. Now, on the penultimate lap of this race, Chungus has to hunt down Matty in order to have a chance for this win. Yellow flags. That is Joseph at the Rolex barrier at turn 2. His chance for points is done. And Pluto's now trying to challenge for the last point spots. Don't know what happened.
Now it's not, but it was just right around that 1 second mark.
That will be the matter of DRS on this final lap. We've got more yellow flags. That is for Joseph again. Chungus is out. He's binned in from 2nd place in this race. Unbelievable. That now puts Kostag under the podium. Now Chungus has lost a chance for the race win, and that is gone. JNT is now trying to hold on for an Aston Martin podium, and TJR is out. He's done. He's retired. Was there contact, though? That'll be the question. Pluto's now trembling to the finish in 10th place. And it will be a big day points-wise for Kostag 2 to gain on the championship leader. Although the championship can be decided in 2 rounds, it is never over till it's over. And that's what Matty Mumu is seeing today as he reaches the final lap. And now Kostag for 2nd to the inside. Goes through a JNT, but goes wide. Here's JNT to the inside. Goes through. Can he challenge back, though, into turn 3? Here he comes to the right side with DRS. Overtaking Gage. Gonna pull alongside. Now, with Matty Mumu leading, can his brother, Blue Gagi, take over the final podium spot with JNT? We saw Kostag do it. Now it's Gagi's chance with Joe following suit. Gagi, yet to see the podium. Matty, yet to see the podium. Both brothers could be on it, and that's JNT struggling out of the corner. Sorry, that's Gagi. Now Joe to the inside. Oh, contact for a moment. They touched wheels, I think, just in the slightest. However, it is the final lap of this race, and we are seeing the final spots up at the front of the field being swapped. Joseph onto the wet tires, and Gagi bins it. That is it for him, and the quest for the podium. Now it is up to JNT and Joe to challenge, and Jab possibly too. Unbelievable stuff. Matty Mumu, in this race, was denied a pole in his 2nd start. His brother binned it from challenging from the podium. His teammate out of the points for a couple moments. But Matty Mumu is the one who excels for a first win today in Baku. At the line, Jab gets Joe for 4th place as Kostag back on the podium. Joe and JNT back on the podium. Joe recovers to 5th. Look at that for the final results. Toneless takes points. Will takes points. Gagi does. Aaron. And now Pluto for 10th place. For 11th. Joseph, the last one to come to the finish line. Joseph spins across the line. Well, thinks about it. There you go. Last finisher is Joseph. Well, that is it for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we have another first-time winner.
Very, how I put it, very chaotic race for sure, but that's what you knew we were going to get. I'm going to do a track like this.
Yeah. And for interviews, since I can't connect to a party, do you want to join the voice channel in the URS Discord? Would that work? I think that'd work for all of us. With Maddie on PC as well. Okay. Let's do that. Let me do that. Vibe channel. Here we go. Should be good. Okay, NT and who was the other podium finisher? Kostag. Well, that is an end to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, I must say. And I know it's questionable at times. Always will be. However, another Grand Prix done and dusted.
Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome along.
How are you guys doing? How'd you like that, anyways?
Questionable.
Okay, yeah, but
Questionable. I must say.
Yeah, for a Baku race, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it could have been worse, but I don't always want to look at the fact it could have always been worse. I don't always want to, but yeah, I could agree with that. Alright, we have now got ourselves... the 3 podium sitters in here. In third place... Actually, Kostag, you said you had to go. You want to go first?
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
Kostag, you finished what? Second? Third?
Second.
Well, yeah, second place for you. And the AlphaTauri, you returned to the podium. Your last podium was back at the street circuit of Singapore. Another good day points-wise for you. Another good day podium-wise for you. It's another podium on the season. It's been a good season for you. How would you describe your race? And even after missing Q3, you started 11th. You recovered all the way back to the podium. How does it feel?
Yeah, I knew I had the pace for the entire weekend, but in Q2 I barely invalidated, so that kind of left me out. But I knew I could make it back. So in the mediums, got some positions, and on the end, just found myself in a good spot for a podium.
Yeah, most definitely. And I have to mention, although this is another podium, I know you might not look at the championship the way that, hey, it might be over, or hey, it could continue. However, you still gain points on Pluto. Your whole team looked like it was going to gain points on Pluto with the way Pluto's race was going. However, with Haas winning, Haas extend the lead in the constructors. You gain on the drivers. I know you may think the drivers could be over. I'm going to assume that's your thought process there. However, my question then is, are you trying to still keep second place, and do you think that's a possibility with the way this has been going for you?
Yeah, I mean, for first place, I think it's a bit done at this point. He's way too far ahead unless I win every race from here, but which is not happening. But mostly looking at the constructors now with Milo to try and beat Haas, at least in that, if we can. But yeah, I think B2 is gonna be the main goal for the season. B1 was just never there. He was quite far ahead, to be fair. So yeah, just looking at constructors and keeping second place.
Now, I have to ask you, because you said not bad for a Baku race, I have to ask, compared to the driving standards the last couple of weeks with this race at Baku, you said it could have been a lot worse for Baku. Two things. Elaborate on that as a driver, what you felt the driving standards were like, and second of all, what do you think as a next season planner yourself needs to be done next season to see better racing at all tracks?
Okay, so for Baku, I think from other leagues as well, it's always a hectic race with a bunch of weird moves here and there. And from what I saw in that race with the people around me, it was quite controlled. Like the stupidity of some of the stuff from last races were a bit toned down for this one. So I think it was fine. It was fine for a Baku race where you know there's going to be chaos. So it was just fine. And for next season, I think we need to look at every race that we done and just see which tracks worked and didn't, so we could implement them into the next calendar. But I wouldn't be opposed to having Baku again. It wasn't bad. It's a skill. It's a track that needs skill, and well, it wasn't that bad. So it was good. I would do it again for next season. But we just need to look at tracks like Belgium and stuff like that, where in the game they don't really work with the new cars and how they're designed and stuff like that.
Most definitely. Well, I don't have anything else for you. Congratulations on the podium again. Congratulations on getting the team up there. And keep in second place in the Drivers' Championship. Congrats. Any questions, Thrasher? Any questions?
No, I don't. Just congratulations on a well-deserved podium through a chaotic race.
Thank you.
All right, well, have a good one. Have a go with J&T now for our third place finisher, returning to the podium.
Hey, sisters.
Yeah, so J&T, you returned to the podium. Chaotic, obviously through a chaotic race. First, I want to know, what was your decision making that last safety car to stay out, knowing most everyone else is going to pit?
I thought at least Chungus would have stayed out, to be honest. I really felt like some of them didn't really have a reason to pit, because they basically just pitted for, 7-lap hards aren't really that bad. My mediums were only 20%. I didn't think that many. I don't think everyone was box. I'm going to be honest.
So, talk to me, how you the beginning of the race went. Obviously, you had great qualifying. Your teammate was able to get pole, and then, obviously contact happened turn 1 with Volvo. What did you see from your point of view for the beginning of the race?
Well, the first thing I saw was a ghosted Aston Martin. Everyone going through it, which was cool. And then there was, I think Goggy and Pluto hit each other, and then that caused a stack up, and then we were all 3 wide. And then it was just kind of a cluster, and we were all making contact. We were being NASCAR people. And then it kind of settled down a little bit until the safety car came out, So I think that's kind of when everyone stopped killing each other, which was the first safety car actually kind of helped me a lot because it helped me stay with everyone better. I actually got really lucky with the safety cars.
Well, congratulations on a absolutely well-deserved podium. Your first podium in a while.
Good to be back, especially because the last time I was here I won, and now I'm here again.
Same car too.
Ryan, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I do. I also just want to mention you are the 16th different podium sitter this season. That's crazy to think about. But the contact with Pluto at turn 3, which led to him using the runoff, do you feel like you gave him enough room? What happened there from the driver point of view?
Oh yeah, I can't do that.
What?
They're going green at Talladega.
J&T, did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say the contact with Pluto at turn 3. From your, did you feel like you left him enough room? And from your driver point of view, what happened?
He sent it to try and keep up with me because he knew he was on worse tires, and he turned in on me.
All right. Well, congratulations on the podium. Well deserved. And now on to our next podium sitter. Now another.
I'm gonna leave and watch Talladega though.
All right, have fun, man. Enjoy. Now our next podium sitter and our first time winner once again, Matty Moo. Moo, welcome along. Welcome along. I did not, I expected to see you up here on pace. However, with the way the race was playing out, I don't think I expected you to be up here. In all seriousness, though, but never doubt Matty Moore, right? Well, your race itself was kind of hectic. Chungus was gaining on you. As soon as you took back second place, he crashed out of the race. That last safety car played in your hands in a way. What did you think of the race itself, and what did you think when you saw Chungus crash out of second place, resulting in almost a guaranteed win for you as long as you kept it on the track?
Well, the start didn't go that great. I got hit from behind, which made me drop down to like 6th, I think, by turn 2. But then something happened in turn 3 and I was back in like 4th or 5th. I can't remember. But at that point, it was just following the train of Rice Cracker, Jab, Pluto, and TJR. By that point, I was like, right, I could just survive until whatever happens. So then there's a safety car. I didn't pit along with everyone else. Then we restarted. A few laps later, the top guy started to pit, and I stayed out. And then there was another safety car, so that was very well timed. So I got to pit onto hard. I can't remember who I was behind them, but I was Aaron. Aaron was ahead of me, and there was Pluto behind with Chungus on mediums. So then Chungus got past, and we were running P1 and 2, and then I saw him go to the wall just before Sector 3. So I was like, right, this is good. There was another safety car where J and T didn't pit, but because Chungus had to replace his front wing, I got ahead. Eventually got past J and T, and so did Chungus. Then I go through the castle section, and I just hear in the party that he's crashed. So I was like, oh, okay, this is good. And now all I've got to do is bring it home with a 2-second lead, and thankfully this week I managed to do that.
Yeah, most definitely. You kept it on track this week. I have to ask regarding really the way things went for you in the first 2 races. I know the last one was a bit different for you because you didn't finish on the podium. This one, it's a podium, but it's also a win. Yeah, how are you enjoying things here so far with 2 races in?
2 races in, it's been good. I mean, I haven't been involved in an incident yet, which helps, as I've seen in main chat, but that's fine. We'll save that for another day. My races have been fine, so yeah, surely some part of it's got to be done with the drivers themselves rather than blaming other people, but oh well, it's a win. My first win in an Xbox League since the last race in ARL back in July 2021.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's a while. It's crazy to think about. Congratulations. Good job. Well deserved. Also, another stat broken that I want to just mention to you before I ask Thrasher if he has any questions. You are the 5th different first-time winner this season. If you exclude Season 1, because Season 1 was the first even season of the league, though, you helped break that record with most different first-time winners in a season, so I think that's something amazing to accomplish. Congratulations. Good job on the podium and the win. Thrasher, any questions?
No, I don't, but just congratulations on a well-deserved win, and welcome back to Xbox Racing League.
Most definitely. Well, that is it for today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix for us. Catch us next week at Imola, October 9th. Next Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK, with 6 races remaining in the season. Hope to have you join us next time for another Grand Prix. Myself, RhinoCon31, and GSR Thrasher 9319. Signing off. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.